Hey there, folks. It's the E-Man here. Yeah, I'm going to be recording this like right after I had recorded my Conquest of the Crystal Palace video. I guess I wanted to cover some gaming news. There's been a lot of it. A lot of it may have something to do with the way the election has turned out. Yeah, I remember hearing about Dragon. What was it? Uh, yes. What was it? Oh, yes. Dragon Age Vanguard. Yeah. Sorry about that. Well, it's been a while since there have been. I think it's been like 10 years since Dragon Age Inquisition, which I happen to have. Pretty cool game. Yes. I have the Origins too that I can play too on the PC. Yeah, I've. The Veilguard. I've heard. Yeah, yeah. It's like whatever, I've heard people saying, well, there's one character that's supposedly non-binary, and no offense to anyone who happens to be that, but that character is just made to be completely obnoxious, and I was thinking, well, can't they edit this character in an update, or maybe have this character not be in the game at all? Might help it a little bit, but I've heard a lot of people tell me that the graphics don't look really good. It doesn't really look like a game that spent 10 years. I feel like people were expecting a lot better, and that didn't pan out good. Yeah, so basically that's a pretty big dud. Well, I knew when I heard all these reviews of it were super positive. I already had my suspicions about what this game was going to be. I don't understand. I don't know. I don't understand with developers that just decide to do this. Like, are they mad at us or something? Us gamers are being punished. Yeah, I mean, it's like I've heard about. Well, there's rumors about Mercury Steam that they've hired all these new woke people, and they're going to try to go after. Well, they're going to try to go after Nintendo's Metroid. They're going to make Samus all woke and whatever. It's like, I don't think that Nintendo will let anybody mess with their IPs, hopefully. Well, the new Metroid Prime 4, of course, is not being done by Mercury Steam. Yeah, I don't know. I guess the idea is that all of us gamers are to blame for the outcome of the election, supposedly. It's all our fault. It's like, well, with all due respect, I didn't vote for the current person who is now technically the president. I didn't vote for that person, so yeah. I didn't vote for that person, so I'm not to blame. I don't know. A lot of people are just so, it's like, I think like the left-wing people are now super angry about the outcome of this election. It's like, well, I mean, they're so mad that they want to blame everybody. Us gamers need to be punished, Yeah, it's like we've suffered through having these woke movies and TV shows that have just been terrible. And I mean, I guess we're supposed to be punished. We're like, a lot of us are like a group of people that needs to be punished. Like, people like me need to be punished because we can't like the stuff we used to like, because it has to be all changed. It has to all reflect what's going on now. And I'm like, the biggest reason why I like to play games, or I want to watch a movie or a TV series that takes place in an alternate world, is so that I don't have to worry about that modern day stuff. And of course I have got nothing against anybody. This kind of thing just doesn't work for me in particular. I mean, I'm tired of all sides battling and fighting each other. It just seems kind of ridiculous. This just rage of this wokeness seems ridiculous. The rage is just, it doesn't do anything. It doesn't get your point across. It just makes it worse. Yeah, I mean, it's like, ugh. Yeah, so now that they're going to come for our games next, all these game developers. They're gonna destroy our game, our favorite characters. I don't know why. I mean, I loved Stellar Blade. Does that make me a bozo or, a sexist pig because I like Stellar Blade? I happen to like Stellar Blade. A rather cute female character that shows femininity. Is no one can be feminine anymore in a game? I don't quite understand that. Well, and I feel like they've had their fun. It's time for them to go do something else. Maybe it was what happened in the 2016 election, like kind of started the whole wokeness, and now it's like now wokeness is on again because of what has happened again, and I just don't know. I just kind of want that to fade away. I'm just so tired of, is this movie going to be woke? Is this series going to be woke? I guess another, I've heard that there's going to be a Mass Effect show on Amazon, and, I've had my hopes dashed so much. I don't know what to expect. Well, and especially, no offense to people at BioWare, but Mass Effect was a great franchise, and it's just feels like it's been completely obliterated. So what's the next thing? Oh, let's put a series on Amazon. I don't know. Maybe it will be good. I don't know. The Rings of Power, I can tolerate it, but still, it's like, I don't know if it's going to be on Amazon, Netflix, whatever. I don't know. Yep. Well, I was happy to see that the Xenoblade Chronicles X, the Wii U game. I think I have that game. It supposedly is going to be re-released for the Switch, which I think is good. Yeah. Oh, yes, and also, if you have PC Game Pass, on the Xbox Game Pass thing, you can get StarCraft Remastered and StarCraft 2, like the whole StarCraft 2 thing. That StarCraft 2's multiple games. I think it's free to play on the Blizzard thing. I don't think it really costs any money to play that game anymore, but I guess it's cool. I was wondering if it was going to be able to be played on, if it was going to be able to be played on the Xbox One. I guess not, only on PC. I don't know if I see much of a point, but whatever. It's a pretty cool game collection to have. Yeah, and StarCraft Remastered, if you guys haven't played that, that's a relatively good game. Yeah, the original StarCraft has been completely remastered and works perfectly on modern computers. Yeah, and Blizzard kind of supports it. They do updates for that as well, so that's kind of cool. So I know there's updates. It's not like exactly what it's existing as or whatnot. Yeah, I usually would play the multiplayer on StarCraft. That was where it shined. Yeah, I know the first StarCraft, I think it was on the N64, I believe. Yeah, and you had to have the expansion pack in order to do like the added-on things of the original StarCraft. Yes, and I have also heard that Sega is going to start delisting a lot of their games. I think that like Sega Genesis collection game that they released a while back, I think. Yeah, I mean, there's been 6 years to download it, but I guess if you have not downloaded that game, you might want to go download it, because there's rumors that a lot of Sega games are start being delisted. Some people are assuming that maybe Sega is going to put us out another mini console or some other thing. I don't know. Or maybe some licensing issues, or maybe they want to bring us out another collection with more games, maybe. I don't particularly know. Yeah, and I don't know if any of you have heard about the supposed there was this console, the Super Sega or whatever. I guess a lot of people have kind of called it a scam, or I don't know. Well, I've seen a lot of YouTubers have seen the videos and they talk about, they show the guy playing it. It's supposed to be like a Sega console that plays all the Sega consoles. Like it shows it can play the cartridge ones and then Sega CD, even up to Dreamcast. But it seems like every time we see he tries to play gameplay footage, there appears to be like it seems to cut out and then cut back in. Like we don't even see if he's actually, if it's actually loading or not. We just kind of cut to the gameplay and we're like, is that really being played on the Super Sega, or or is this being? They have something else connected up to it, or I don't know. A lot of people think it's a kind of a scam. I guess careful about these certain things. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's going to actually be something, but it's just kind of an interesting, weird thing. Yeah, and of course, like many YouTubers talk about, and I think I've talked about a little bit, we're starting to get to that all digital age where it's very hard to get any physical media anymore. Like, we're going to get everything, yeah, I don't know. It's like, like the idea of physical media is just kind of going away. I mean, I don't know. I just think we need to go try to buy whatever physical media we can find. Try to get other versions of these movies and stuff, or games and whatever, and make sure you put them on like external hard drives and start saving them, because these companies are going to start taking away stuff from us. We're going to delist this game and delist that game, and it's like, I don't know. It's like, and of course I've heard of the, in Congress and whatnot, it's like they're not going to do anything about it. I guess, and always the argument has always been with with a lot of these gaming companies is, if we buy the old games, we won't want to buy any new ones, and it's ridiculous. Well, think about it. Every other media you can think of, like, like really old movies. It's like, we can go access those at a library. We can go get a book from the library. Why are older video games, I guess we don't have a right to play them or something? It's like, I don't quite get what that's supposed to be. Well, we have these video game museums where they're not supposed to let anyone play them for fun, but it's just play them for research purposes. I'm like, what? Yeah, it's just ridiculous to me, because think about all the other media that we can access. Like, a lot of certain media things that we can access, like, whenever. It's like, it just seems very strange that, all the other medias and all the other, industries seem to, they don't really care if we can play these older movies or older things somewhere else. But it seems like with the video games, we're like not allowed to play them, I guess. We're supposed to pay for everything 50 gazillion times. I don't understand that either. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to preserve these games. A lot of these emulators were not made for the purpose of piracy or whatever. A lot of these emulators were made so that you could play these games. That these games could be future-proofed, so that we would be able to play these games long into the future, as long as we have computers that can run the emulators, and we have the ROM files. It's like, I've pretty much gone, through the internet. I found whatever ROM files I can find and save them up, because games start getting delisted and whatever. I mean, it's harder to emulate, of course, the newer consoles. PS4. I've heard of PS4 emulation. Yeah, but it's like, well, like back in the day when we had the Sega Genesis or the N64 or the PlayStation, it's like those kind of systems and games we're a little bit more future-proofed than modern games now. Like PlayStation 5 games, are we going to be able to play these PlayStation 5 games 20 years from now? Probably not. So it's like the older games, we have more of a chance of being able to play them. And I realize that there will be a day where all these old consoles and all these old games just don't work anymore, or they're broken, or they fail, or disc rot, or whatever. Yeah. As many YouTubers have stated, it's like these companies just, I don't know, with video games seem to be something that it's okay for them to, delist or take off. Well, or the biggest frustration is when these companies do give us these games, on another console. They're usually not optimized properly. They have tons of glitches and problems, and the original game would probably be more better than that. Well, and we were, and now we seem to be getting these remasters of PS4 games, and they remaster the game so many freaking times. Like, yeah, like think of how many systems Skyrim is on, how many systems Grand Theft Auto 5 has been on. Oh yes, yeah, Rockstar Games has put the original Red Dead Redemption on the PC. So I'm going to check that out, because I remember it was a big deal that the first Red Dead Redemption never got a PC port. Well, now it finally did. I like Red Dead Redemption. I've played it on the newer Xbox. Get it with all the stuff. It's not really like a super technical upgrade or anything, but I mean it looks a little bit better than it did before, but I mean you can still play that game on the PlayStation 3 or the other stuff. But well, of course, then there's issues with, we have consoles with limited, that have internal batteries that once they burn out, console won't work. And if you can't get on PlayStation Network, even if you put a new battery in it, if you can't get on the PlayStation Network, you can't like update it or make it work. Yeah, and we've got a lot of the PlayStation 3 stores are closing. It's like, yeah, I mean, I had a lot of games that I got. I got the Simpsons Arcade, which I've said before. I had the Simpsons Arcade game and the X-Men Arcade game. I downloaded on my PlayStation 3 like a while ago. Even that weird Turtles in Time game on the 360 that I can't get anymore. That you can't get those anymore because they've been delisted. Yeah, it's just as it always is. It's like it's sad. I don't understand why video games have to be this way. Well, if the company would be, well, plus another big thing is if the companies would offer us these games, we would buy, a version of the game that we can play, like on our computers that don't require internet and don't require a service like Steam or something where we have to go into Steam. Even if you go on Steam and your game is in offline mode, you're still having to kind of say, yeah, I'm going on Steam, even if it's online, offline mode. I mean, you still have to have this, like every time I click on one of the games I have on Steam, I have to go through, Steam opens and all of that. I mean, it's like, has to be linked to that. Yeah, as other YouTubers have said, it's like, you never know, something may happen to Steam or what. Like, well, I guess delisted, if you already have the game downloaded on your computer, I always wondered that with Steam. I haven't quite encountered that yet. It's like, if a game gets delisted and you have it on your computer, is it still going to let you be able to play it? Yeah, and then if, something happens to your computer, data gets corrupted, well, or you get a new computer and you have to reinstall all your games, you're not going to be able to reinstall a lot of things. So it's like, you had to have a version of the game on on a external hard drive so that you can play it whenever. That's what a lot of the arguments has been about, you know, with some of these games, like, you know, like the server gets turned off, the game is now worthless, we can't play it anymore. Like, you know, it's that a lot of these companies don't care about the longevity of being able to play this game. Like, 10 years from now, can I play this game anymore? It just doesn't seem fair that they come and take that away. It's like, people like, well, especially if it's a game people are still buying, people still like to play it. Like, why take that away? You know, it's because I watch new movies. It doesn't make me, you know, I watch old movies. It doesn't make me want to stop watching new movies. Well, and currently at the state of way the gaming industry is, it's like, what new games are really all that good? I mean, it's not too hard when we play, you know, older games that seem better than the games we have now. I don't really know what's going on in the video game industry. I've heard people talking about how no one really likes to work in the video game industry anymore. There's weird deadlines. There's, well, the woke, crazy people just taking over everything, and I don't know what it is. Well, we had Kill the Justice League. I don't know, the developers were just really angry that the other developers made such great games, but they didn't homage. Before, I'm not, you know, trying to, you know, go after anyone particularly. I don't really like this modern day, like modern day politics being put into everything, especially in a Dragon Age game. You know, a fantasy world is supposed to be far removed from what the heck is going on here. You know, and I'm not going to hate on any certain group of people. I'm just going to say I don't like this modern day stuff in my games. Like, if this is something I have to deal with on my day-to-day life, that's okay, but I would like to be able to come home and watch a movie or TV show or play a video game and go to a fantasy world and not have to really think about the real world for a little bit. I don't like it that there's all of a sudden there's this modern day issues and stuff. It just doesn't belong in a fantasy game or whatever, like Rings of Power. It's just, there's this weird directive or some weird check boxes that they all have to check off to make it so that no one gets ticked off about it. It's like, what is going on? You know, and then the biggest issue is, of course, you know, there's only a small group of people that would probably actually, you know, would pander to this. There's not enough people that are going to buy, there's not enough people that are going to buy it. Like, let's talk about, like, the TV show The Acolyte. You know, it's like, all these people are so mad that it got canceled, but it's like, well, where were you guys when the show was on? You needed to watch it. So it just shows that a lot of times these games and movies and stuff are pandering to a group that really doesn't watch movies or TV shows, doesn't really play video games either. You know, whatever. And I guess, you know, I guess gamers like us are the problem, I guess. We're all man babies that don't know what we want to play or what we want to. Well, I understand that of course, you know, people like me, the older dynamic, we're not really targeted for any of this anymore. It's like the younger generation is just being targeted with all this stuff. I don't know how the younger generation's kind of figure it out. There seems to be so much stuff being pushed at them and so much weirdness going on. I wish that everyone could get along, but there's always going to be something that we don't understand because we're not that group of people. We don't truly understand what it's like to be them. You know. Yeah, it's just kind of the way it is. They game. It's just really weird what's going on with the gaming industry. I don't know what's going on. I just like, things get delisted. We're not exactly explained why, but it's like, well, that's the thing. Video games are just considered differently. Well, as an example, I will tell you, what if your favorite movie, well, imagine if your favorite movie was stuck on VHS. Like, the only way to play the movie was on VHS. It was the only way to. Like I was like, there'd be no streaming, no nothing. All you can do is play this movie on VHS. You would be very unhappy because it's kind of hard to play VHSs. Well, I have my TV back there, VCR combo, of course. But, it's like, it's kind of hard to watch VHS movies on a modern television because audio and video just doesn't look very good on a modern television. So he's not going to be able to play at high quality. Like, what other option is there? But to maybe go get a pirated version that's been somehow transferred to CD, or, try to illegally get it online, or try to download it somewhere, because you can only watch it on VHS. It's not released on anything else, it's just on that. And that's what is very much like it if you have a really cool game, but it's stuck on an older console. And you really want to play it, but the only way to play it is on an old console. You gotta go get the hardware. You gotta make sure the system's still working. Yes, it's very strange. Of course, we know, if you want to watch a movie, let's see, you can watch it on streaming, you can watch it on DVD, Blu-ray, VHS, like, well, maybe Laserdisc. Or, like all the other different physical medias that movies are on. Movies are more widespread, but it's the same kind of concept. Yeah, so imagine if you can't play your favorite game. Well, maybe this is how a lot of these emulators came to be. Someone was thinking, well, I really want to play this game, but it's very hard. The hardware is kind of wearing out. It's kind of expensive to buy all this hardware and buy all these games. Well, let's make an emulator so we can play them. I think that's pretty much how it happened. But yeah, we get movies everywhere. But what if you want to play a video game? Either you have to play it on original hardware. Certain games, of course, certain games have been re-released on other consoles, so you have other ways to play them. Yeah, you have the original hardware, all that stuff. Then of course you have a remake or a remaster issue. Then of course there's emulation. Yeah, emulation. Or a game streaming service, or like a subscription like Game Pass, or the Nintendo Switch Online. Something like that. But you do realize that a lot of those options, you have to buy the game again. You gotta pay money, subscribe to another service. It's like, I'm on PlayStation Network account. Then you need another account and then sign into another thing. Well, it does seem like to play certain video games, it's rather expensive. Original hardware, usually the hardware isn't too bad, but usually some of the games can be like a couple $100 or something. Yeah, you're not going to be able to play them. Yeah, emulation, a lot of people go to emulation, well, basically because it's free. You don't have to pay for it. Yeah, I just don't know. I mean, I would think that these video game companies could sell us the ROMs for these games and make money. I feel like these companies could basically print money with all the games. That it would be cool if they really, but they're not going to do that. It just seems like Yeah, like the whole industry just, or maybe some people still see video games as toys and don't treat them like they should treat movies and other stuff. Or like books. Like I can get a book on tape, I can go get like a book on CD or something, or a book on tape, or well, I can get it through get it through my phone. I can do the streaming of iBooks and whatnot. It's like there's all these different ways to watch movies and read books, but video games, there are options for video games, but yeah, for the most part, well, you can go to a library. You don't have to buy the book. You can technically rent the book from the library. A lot of people want video games to be able to be like that, where it's like you can have access to it. It may not be yours, but it can be put back in, it can be put back in a library or some kind of storage so that you will always have access to it. You just have to go back to the said library or the said website and be able to play it. Of course, the games will have to be kept on the website. You wouldn't be able to download them or whatnot. But, it's like some people just want to preserve some of these video games. Well, and I'm kind of doing my part, making sure I have a lot of ROM sets and stuff saved on my computer or put on external hard drives so they can even outlive my computer, hopefully. And as long as the data doesn't get corrupted, I'll always have access to that. I've used uTorrent. I've downloaded some movies that probably kind of shady to have downloaded, but I got them downloaded, and they're on my hard drive somewhere, so I can watch them. Yeah, I think I got like all the episodes of Star Trek Enterprise, and I think Pirates of Dark Water and stuff, even SWAT Cats from downloads that I probably wasn't supposed to watch them. Well, the SWAT Cats thing was cool because I got the versions of the SWAT Cats that were put on Cartoon Network. They were supposedly enhanced to go on that because I got the original DVDs and I was like, why is the video quality not all that good? Because they were, taken off of, a standard definition television. I guess they had to enhance them to put them on Cartoon Network when they did, because a lot of things are digital through the thing now, and they had to improve them. Yeah, it's just kind of incredible that video games just aren't treated like every other media. But, thankfully we have emulation, and it's a pretty good option. Anyway, I think I've rambled on too long. Please like and subscribe if you like this video, and leave any comments. Yeah, I know, I've kind of covered a lot of basics here about game news and my personal kind of my personal opinions on this topic. Hopefully next time we'll be like doing something fun and not talking about stuff that can be kind of depressing to think that is really cool to be able to play these old games. But I'll catch you guys later. I'm gonna have to I have to get ready for bed. It's getting kind of late and I gotta get up early in the morning. Gotta work one more day, and then I'm gonna be off 2 days. Off Saturday and Sunday. Oh, it was crazy on I'll tell you, it was crazy on Wednesday here. I think it was like 74 degrees and it felt humid outside. And it's like it was like, it's like, I don't know, it was like freaking November. And it's like, I don't know. But it's getting cold now. It's starting to cool off, and I think it's going back to reality here. That we're going to be looking at winter here soon in Maine. But anyway, crazy weather. And then the election, it's just been kind of crazy. Hopefully I can relax a little bit on the weekend and kind of chill out, not really worry about things. All right. See you guys later then. Bye.